Sagittarius, if you're hearing these words right now, it means you've already felt something unusual, moving inside you, an unfamiliar silence, a tightness in your chest you can't quite name, or a gentle uneasiness like a quiet breeze, yet strong enough to make your mind pause for a few seconds. There are truths you've avoided for far too long. Avoided by laughing louder, speaking stronger, acting more confident. But the truth is still there, deep, heavy, and stubborn, just like your fire soul. God sees what you've been trying to hide behind your strength. He clearly sees what you've been trying to ignore, something you're holding onto so tightly that it's blocking the path that was meant to be wide open for a Sagittarius. And no, this isn't random, not bad luck, not a temporary phase. This is a signal from God, a signal from the universe, a signal from the deepest part of your being. What you've been suppressing, an unspoken disappointment, a betrayed trust, a choice you always regret, or a story you believed you had already overcome, is draining your energy a little more every single day. And when the fire inside a Sagittarius gets suffocated, your whole life begins to stand still. Your vision narrows. Your motivation flickers unpredictably. Your luck pulls back, and doors that were meant to open for you suddenly feel locked. You are strong, but that strength has made you build an invisible prison around yourself. Sagittarius, you are not someone who can be easily held back. You were born to move, to fly, to expand, to touch horizons others don't even dare to imagine. But something is holding your feet in place, and today, you're going to understand exactly what that is. This isn't a video meant to scare you. This is a video meant to hand you the key to your own freedom, to help you understand the true nature of what is blocking your path, and to show you how to break free from it once and for all. Now then, make yourself a cup of tea, or your favorite coffee. Sit down for a moment. Relax your shoulders, because the journey we're about to begin, the journey that will make you look at yourself in a way you've never looked before, will change many things. Shall we begin? Part Viennas. God is warning. Sagittarius is hiding a truth that is blocking up life. Sagittarius, you may not realize it, but for a very long time, there has been a truth inside your heart that you've never dared to touch. Something you've hidden so well that sometimes even you forget it exists. You hide it behind your wide smile, behind your philosophical stories, behind the way you always act strong, always push yourself forward first, always stand back up, even when no one is there to help you. People look at you and think you never fall. They call you a warrior, a flame, a bringer of light. But if they could see beneath the armor you wear every single day, they would see a Sagittarius who is tired, who is hurting, who is holding too much, inside things that have never been spoken. You are the sign of truth. Yet ironically, you are the one who hides your own truth the best. Not because you want to lie to yourself, but because real pain sometimes cuts too deep to face. Sagittarius always tries to find meaning in everything. You turn pain into lessons. You turn disappointment into philosophy. You shift your perspective to make things feel lighter, more acceptable, easier to swallow. And because of that, you convinced yourself that you've already moved on. But God knows you never truly did. He sees the moments when you laugh loudly in a crowd but feel empty inside, like you don't belong there. He sees the moments you stand in front of the mirror and ask yourself, why do I feel like something is holding me back? He sees the nights when you lie down and a quiet uneasiness slips in, no matter how much you try to distract your mind. The truth is, Sagittarius hides pain with strength. You hide hurt with independence. You hide disappointment behind the words, "It's okay. I'm used to it." You hide loss by staying busy, pushing forward, and moving so fast that you don't have to face what's eating at your heart. But some things can't be healed by running, can't disappear by ignoring them, can't be replaced by a new goal. Sagittarius. The truth you haven't faced has become the stone blocking the very path God intended for you. This stone isn't from other people, not from fate, not from karma or challenges. It's from inside you, from the moment you decided to bury a feeling instead of releasing it. And when the heart is stuck, everything outside becomes stuck too. You see it, don't you? Opportunities you should have had suddenly slip away. A career path that was opening suddenly slows down. Big plans get disrupted by unexpected distractions. Relationships you hoped for never go as far as they should. Your intuition, once so strong, suddenly weakens. That feeling of, "I'm about to break through," appears, then disappears, like a shadow. None of this is random. These are signs from God. He is warning you. There is something you must acknowledge. A truth you buried too deep. It is holding your entire life back. Sagittarius is the sign of freedom. But how can you be free when something inside you is tying you down? You can fly far, but how can wings rise when you're holding a heavy stone in your chest? You can expand your vision, but how can you see the future when your eyes are still clouded by an old wound? You can receive great blessings, but how can you receive them when your hands are still gripping what hurts you? Sagittarius. He is not here to blame you or frighten you. He is here to remind you. It is time to release. Release what you've hidden. Release what you fear. Release what you keep telling yourself you've already healed. Because your life cannot open if your heart is still closed. If any part of this message feels true to you, leave a short comment. I'm ready to stop blocking my life. And remember to like and subscribe so you can receive the next part where you'll understand exactly why the cycles in your life keep repeating. Sit down, breathe gently. Your journey has only just begun. Part 2. Repeating signs that Sagittarius is bound by the past. Sagittarius. Have you ever wondered why certain things in your life keep coming back again and again, as if the universe is trying to repeat a message you still refuse to hear? Do you feel that no matter how much you try to move forward, changing your environment, your lifestyle, your goals, even reshaping yourself to fit your new journey, you still end up falling into the same emotions, the same disappointment, the same type of hurt? As if you're being held back by an invisible rope, and you don't even know where the other end is tied. Sagittarius usually doesn't see your own patterns, because you change so quickly. But God sees clearly. Your life is revolving around messages you haven't yet released. Let me make it clearer. 1. You keep meeting the same type of person. Different face, same energy. How many times have you entered a new relationship with the hope, this person is different, this time will be different, things from the past won't repeat? Yet somehow, you still get hurt the same way. You still feel disappointed the same way. You still feel abandoned, misunderstood, let down just like before. It's not because you choose the wrong people. It's because the lesson inside you has not been released. And until that wound is touched and healed, the universe will keep sending the same lesson through different forms. 2. Opportunities that look certain slip away at the last second. Sometimes you can feel it. You're so close. A major project, a career breakthrough, a dream trip, a life-changing chance, a relationship with real potential. But then, it disappears. It pulls away from you instantly. It gets close enough for you to feel it, then gone. This isn't bad luck. This is a spiritual signal. When your heart is still tied to the past, God doesn't want you walking into bigger doors because you're not light enough to rise, not clear enough to see, not free enough to receive those blessings. He is not taking it away. He is delaying it until you heal. 3. Feeling lost. Even though you are trying so hard. No one tries harder than a Sagittarius. You give your effort with your whole heart. With fire. With determination few people ever see. But why are there still days when you don't know where you're going, don't understand what you want, look at the future, but only see fog, have motivation but can't sustain it, have vision but can't focus? It's because your inner fire is being blocked by the shadow of your past. Sagittarius is the sign of expansion. But how can you expand when you're tied to an emotion you never expressed? A wound you never healed? A truth you never accepted? 4. Warning. Sagittarius cannot fly high when your wings are still tied. It sounds gentle, but it hurts. Because deep down, you know it's true. You were born to rise to skies others don't dare to look toward. Freedom is your breath. Experience is your language. Faith is your compass. But when you're tied to old pain, your fire weakens. And when fire weakens, intuition dims, vision shortens, expansion is blocked. Look stand still, actions lose vitality, faith shakes, abundance close, not because you lack ability, but because the past is locking your heart from the inside. God wants you to recognize this so you can pause, look inward, and heal, not to scare you, but to prepare you for a much bigger expansion ahead. Sagittarius, this repetition is not meaningless. It is a message. It is a sign. It is a warning. You are carrying something you were meant to release long ago. If you feel like your life is circling around the same point, comment below. I'm breaking the cycle. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you won't miss the next part where you'll understand why Sagittarius suppresses emotions so deeply and how that hidden pattern shapes your destiny. The journey is long, and we are moving in the right direction. Part tries. The root of the problem. Why does Sagittarius always keep things in their heart that they don't want anyone to see? Sagittarius. To understand why you're being held back by things you haven't released, you must first look at the deepest root inside yourself. The part you rarely let anyone see. The part even you avoid every time it tries to surface. The truth is, Sagittarius is excellent at healing others, but struggles to heal yourself. Not because you don't know how, not because you're not strong enough, but because you've grown too used to playing the strongest person in the room. From a very young age, you learned to stand up faster than you actually felt ready to. You learned to hide pain behind a smile. You learned to use humor to mask your fragility. And you learned to live as if you don't need anyone at all. 1. Sagittarius always plays the strong one. And that is your first chain. You fear showing weakness, not because you don't trust others, but because you fear that if you truly fell apart, no one would be there to lift you back up. You don't want anyone to see you when you're hurt, when you're disappointed, when you've lost your faith. You hate being pitied. You hate the look of poor you in someone's eyes. So you choose to build a wall around your heart so thick that even the people who love you most can't get in. But Sagittarius, strength does not mean you're not allowed to hurt. The strongest ones also need love. The strongest ones also need to be heard. The strongest ones also need to breathe. 2. You hide your wounds well because you don't want anyone to be wrong about you. Sagittarius cares deeply about how you're perceived. You have strong pride. You always want to appear like a bright flame that never dims. So when you feel weak, wounded, or disappointed, you refuse to let anyone see it. You believe that if someone sees your vulnerability, They'll think you're weak, fragile, or not as strong as they thought. You fear being misjudged. You fear being misunderstood. And deep down, you fear losing the value someone once saw in you. But hiding your wounds so deeply that they almost disappear is exactly what disconnects you from true connection. 3. Sagittarius carries the burden of expectation more than any other sign. You have expectations for yourself, the person you love, life, the future. Everything you believe is destiny. And when those expectations break, your disappointment isn't small. It's sharp, silent, heavy, and deeply personal. You don't stay angry for long. You don't scream or blame. You don't collapse dramatically. But you remember, and you bury it quietly. The deepest wound of Sagittarius is not betrayal. It's losing faith in something you once believed in with your whole heart. 4. Sagittarius heals by running, but the pain runs with you. Let's face this truth. Sagittarius has a powerful instinct. When hurt, you run. You change your environment. You change your job. You change your partner. You change your goals. You change your entire identity if you must. You call it starting over. But sometimes, it's just a beautiful form of escape. You think that if you go far enough, fast enough, hard enough, the pain won't catch you. But Sagittarius, my dear, your pain isn't in the place you're trying to leave. It's in the place you carry with you. And you carry it everywhere, across every chapter of your life. That's why the more you change the outside, the more stuck you feel inside. Because the root of the problem has never been external. It lives in your heart. 5. God wants you to understand. Suppression is not freedom. It is an invisible chain. Sagittarius lives to seek freedom. But here is the painful irony. Your emotional suppression has become the biggest chain holding you down. You think silence keeps the peace. You think strength earns respect. You think not speaking protects relationships. You think running away saves you from pain. But God says, you are only hiding what needs to be released. You are not free when you suppress. You are not free when you hide. You are not free when you protect an image so much that your soul can't breathe. True freedom only comes when you dare to open your heart, to look back, to acknowledge, to release. Sagittarius, if this part hits you, if you realize there is something you've been running from, but have never spoken, leave a simple comment. I see my truth. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you can receive part 4, where God will reveal the specific wounds of each Sagittarius birth group and why each group carries a different type of burden. The journey is opening, and it's leading you toward real freedom. Part 4. God reveals Sagittarius birthday group. The pain inside them, Sagittarius. You've always believed you understood yourself, your path, your purpose, your struggles. But there are things within you that you don't fully see until someone speaks them out loud. And God wants you to know, not all Sagittarius carry the same pain. Depending on when you were born, the energy you brought into this world is different, therefore. The wounds, lessons, and things you've been hiding are different too. Read this slowly, because somewhere in these lines, you will recognize yourself. Sagittarius. Born from November 22, December 1, the warriors of expectations and responsibility. This group often enters life carrying heavy burdens, sometimes family responsibility, sometimes the expectations of others, sometimes the weight of must be strong, must mature early, must be the pillar, must do better, must succeed. You grew up feeling like you did not have the right to be weak, no right to fall apart, no right to fail, no right to pause. And over time, you became the person who always seems fine, always stands firm, always knows what to do, even when you're so tired, you don't know where to lean. Your wound is the wound of becoming the strong one too early. You hide pressure. You hid fear. You hide the moments you want to give up. But because you feel you're not allowed, you keep standing, keep holding it together, keep pretending. God wants you to understand. You were not born to be strong forever. You were born to be real, both in strength and in vulnerability. Sagittarius, born from December. 2 December. 11. The souls who once trusted the wrong person. This group carries the wound of disappointment, a disappointment so deep it has become an invisible shield between you and the world. You once put your trust in someone you believed was important, and that person hurt you deeply, not just because they left or failed you, but because you never thought they would. This pain created in you a quiet doubt, a guarded heart, a subtle defensiveness. Even though you still love deeply, still generous, still forgiving, you no longer trust the same way. You fear being betrayed again. You fear something beautiful will break right when you begin to hope. You fear opening your heart because opening it once cost you too much. This group carries the wound of lost faith, and so you hide your disappointment behind indifference, behind a smile, behind the words, "I'm fine," even though deep down, you know you are not fine. God wants you to know, not everyone is like the person who hurt you. Your trust deserves healing. Sagittarius, born from December 12, December 21. The soul's afraid of being truly seen. This is the most intellectual, deep, and independent group, but also the group that hides your true essence the most. You have perspectives no one else has. You have unique gifts. You have a strong personality but a highly sensitive heart. You have thoughts so deep very few people can understand them. So you learn to speak less, suppress emotions, dim your uniqueness, live as a more acceptable version of yourself. You fear judgment. You fear being misunderstood. You fear being seen as too much, too sensitive, too blunt, too complicated. The thing you hide is not pain. It's your true self. And hiding yourself is the very thing that makes you feel lost, alone, even when you're surrounded by people. God wants you to know, you were made to be different, not to shrink yourself to fit someone else's box. But all Sagittarius share one truth. You hide your true emotions to protect your freedom, yet that very hiding is what takes your freedom away. You say, "It's okay, I can handle it. No one needs to understand me. It's better not to talk about it." But deep inside, this suppression is exhausting you until your fire doesn't burn the same. Exhausting you until everything in your life slows down. Exhausting you until you don't realize you've traded your inner freedom just to maintain an outer image of freedom. Sagittarius, God does not want you to live like this anymore. He wants you to be fully free in your mind, in your heart, and in your soul. If you see yourself in any of these groups, comment below, "I belong to this group," or simply share your birth range. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you won't miss part 5, the most important part, where God shows how Sagittarius can release what has been binding you and open the door to your own prosperity. Your journey is reaching its most powerful transformation. Be ready. Section 5. The Release. God wants Sagittarius to unlock your energy, receive truth, freedom, prosperity. Sagittarius. If you've reached this part, it is a clear sign that you are finally ready to put down the weight you've been carrying for far too long. This is no longer about knowing or understanding. This is the moment where you take action with your soul. Because God doesn't want you to simply recognize your pain. He wants you to release it, so He can open a new door you never imagined existed. You are strong, yes. You are resilient, yes. You are independent, yes. But you cannot walk into a new chapter with old baggage. You cannot rise with wings that are weighed down. You cannot elevate when your heart is still anchored to things you thought you had already moved past. And God is speaking to you clearly. Let it go. I will lift you. So, how does Sagittarius release? 1. Acknowledge your pain. The first step to freedom. You cannot heal what you won't allow yourself to feel. Sagittarius tends to rationalize emotions. I'm fine. It's nothing. It's not worth worrying about. I don't need anyone to understand me. But God sees the truth. You're not fine. You're not light. And you're not as carefree as you pretend to be. Acknowledging your pain is not weakness. It is courage. It is honesty with your soul. It is the moment the first door to healing opens. Say quietly in your heart, I am hurting, and I admit it. That alone is enough to shift your energy. 2. Speak your truth. Even if your voice shakes, Sagittarius is the sign of truth. Yet ironically, you hide your own truth better than anyone. You don't speak up because you fear being misunderstood. You fear disappointing someone. You fear being seen as weak. You fear people no longer recognizing your value. But God whispers to you, you cannot live a full life if you refuse to be real. Speak your truth even if it's only once. Even if it's only to yourself. You can write it down. You can say it in the mirror. You can tell God. Or simply acknowledge it in your heart. The truth will not cost you the people meant for you. It will only remove the ones who don't belong on your journey. 3. Stop running. Stay long enough to heal. Sagittarius heals by moving, by running, by starting over, by diving into new plans, new environments, new people, new goals. But the pain is not in the place you stand. It is in the heart you carry. And you take that heart with you everywhere you go. Warrior, it's time to stop. Not stop to collapse, but to finally face what's been holding you back. Only when you stop running can you heal. Only when you heal can you truly be free. 4. Step back into the center of your own life. Not living off balance for others anymore. Sagittarius is generous, forgiving, and always willing to bend to maintain peace. You live to avoid disappointing others. You live to protect others' feelings. You live to appear strong, dependable, unshakable. But God wants you to understand. You were not created to live off-center. You were created to live at the center of your own life. When you return to your rightful place, your soul brightens, your intuition opens, your path becomes clear, blessings flow toward you. Freedom is not about running away from anything. Freedom is standing still and saying, this is me. This is my truth. When Sagittarius releases, miracles begin. Your intuitive fire returns. You see clearly again. You simply know what to do. You stop second-guessing yourself. Opportunities open quickly. What was closed begins to open. What was slow begins rushing toward you. Money, luck, purpose become aligned again. You no longer wander. You no longer hesitate. You no longer feel lost. You step back onto your true energetic axis, the place where blessings reach you most easily. And God promises you, when you release the old weight, I will open a new door for you. Bigger, brighter, richer. Sagittarius, your journey does not end in heaviness. It ends in light, in freedom, in prosperity. But only when you have the courage to let go of what's holding you back. If you're ready to release, comment, I'm ready to be free. And make sure to like and subscribe so the next messages find you at the perfect moment. Sagittarius, this is the moment you reclaim yourself. Your fire is about to rise again. Prepare for the greatest expansion of your life. Sagittarius. Thank you for staying until the very end of this journey. If you are here, it means your heart is truly ready to release what no longer belongs to you and step into a new chapter of freedom, clarity, and prosperity. Today's message reminds you of this. Healing begins when you face the truth, not when you run from it. When you dare to acknowledge your pain, dare to speak your truth, and dare to stand at the center of your own life, you open the door not only to relief, but also to opportunity, luck, and the divine path God has prepared just for you. If you feel this video has touched something inside you, leave a comment. I'm ready for my freedom. Remember to like and subscribe so you won't miss the messages that are meant to find you. Sagittarius, you were born to be free. I'll see you in the next video.